Hey guys, how we doing? I got a bunch of little stuff kind of going on. I'm not quite sure what I was going to talk about, so I figured I'd just turn the camera on and start rambling and make it some sort of a vlog of sorts. Well, anyway, springtime is coming around, and who dat? Springtime is coming around, and of course I'm trying to get everything fired up and cleaned up in the yard. So dug out in the back tent garage my Toro, and that one has a power bagger on it. And the power bagger is basically what's underneath that black plastic thing. There's a big fan on the side of it that runs off a belt from the mower deck and basically just turns it into a big vacuum cleaner for the yard. So all the crap that forms up and pine cones and all the debris you can even see in the yard there. There's a little bit left in the driveway and all. But it does a good job. So I spent 2 days ago, would that be Thursday? It was nice out. Went around and just kind of went and started cleaning up all so you can kind of see where the grass is. Deal. And got the backpack blower out, blew out underneath all the shrubs and stuff and the deck, and kicked the awning out. The beginning of summer starts when you drop the awning, in my opinion, for me. So that's all into play. And had the fire pit. I don't know if I even showed you guys this fire pit. Our old one rotted out, so I made one out of a wrenches and a mower deck. And you can kind of see through it. So you still see the blade in the mower deck, and that was the bottom of the base of it. And then as you go around it, you see different faces in it. There. There's another one there. Look in this direction. There's one there with messed up teeth looking guy. That one. And that one. And that one. So we had a fire yesterday and kind of started burning all the branches that were flopped around the yard, and that worked out pretty good. And the fire pit itself works pretty good too. The other one was kind of all enclosed, so you had to kind of like look down into the fire. Right, this you can kind of see through the sides of it. So the next thing is to get the garden done. Now, we didn't do the garden last year, because last year was a bit of a cluster of sorts. We'll leave it at that. But this year we're going to try getting it going. So I'm going to roll up this fence, and you can see all the crap that's kind of growing in it that shouldn't be. So that seeding, all that stuff that's on top, my wife wants me just to scrape it right off. And we're going to start fresh. Throw some compost down on there and till it into the ground. As you can see, I got one of my tiller. The ones from last year's yard sale. Where is it? I think I'm looking at it. It's right there somewhere. Behind that thing. In the red. Anyway, so we're going to fire that tiller up and put that to work. And then a friend of mine's going to borrow it. And maybe we have some nice fresh veggies this summer. So that's what the teramite came out for. And what the teramite has, where I have the 2-inch receiver, I have a York rake that is set up with a 2-inch receiver trailer hitch on it, and it hangs off the front of the bucket probably about 3 feet. And I kind of use that. You can angle the bucket and you can look at what you're doing, and you can kind of just paw at stuff with it. So that's what the teramite's here for. Just charging the battery up. Kind of sat all winter out front. I brought it out front just in case I need it for snowstorms, but that was not the case. And this has this is the throttle. You pull it and turn it, kind of locks it to whatever position you need. Let's do a cold start. So she should be ready to go. Again, I'm going to check the fluids on that and make sure she's okay, no mice, that kind of thing, you know, mice, lovely mice. Last video I made was the orange beetle, and looking into what caused its problems. And we know it drops a valve, and I've been going back and forth on the phone with the owner. And the owner is somebody I just met. It's not a long-term friend or something of that nature. So the person that owns it does not have, you know, boatloads of cash. Generally, if you're a VW guy, you don't have boatloads of cash in general. The thing with this car is it's his only car, it's his daily driver, it's not a toy. And he had a 16-month-old baby inside there. The winds are picking up. Let's go walk inside the garage where it's not as windy. Anyway, so he was looking into, you know, what can we do for it. It's got the wrong engine. It's got a single port engine. It's supposed to have a dual port. So first kind of looked and see if we just found a good used motor to put in it. And you can't find them like you used to, you know. Essentially, I'm finding them by digging them out of old cars, like the buses that you've been seeing. And I'm not willing to give one of those up. Those are from my hoard. I have 2 motors, and you know, one is questionable. One's decent, one is questionable. And I do not want to give those up for just somebody I kind of met off the street and then have to go stand behind it. I don't mean to say, sound mean about that, but you know, I got those from me, and I went through the trouble of chasing them down for me and their bus motors. And bus motor can really only go in a bus motor can go in a Beetle or a bus, but a Beetle motor cannot go in a bus. Bay window I'm talking about, because they have a mustache bar across the back that needs to be part of the mount of the engine, different casting. Anyway, too much information, but those are mine. And we couldn't find a used motor for his bug, and we looked into a new one. A new one's going to be a dual port, and it's $11.99 plus the core charge. And I don't know what shipping there and shipping the core charge back would be. We don't know if that core is any good, because it did drop a valve and smash the piston, and you don't know what the connecting rod did to the rest of the engine on the inside. It could be totally junk. So that $11.99 can quickly turn into $19.99, and then on top of that, that would be a what's called a dual port motor, and that has a single port motor that is in it. I don't know if I have access to kind of show you here. All right, so that's a single port motor, 1600 single port. Single port meaning one pipe going down. Dual port has 2 going down, like Krusty has in it. They do not interchange as far as the intake manifold, the carburetor, the tins on the side, and a couple of other little things. But so you would have to access those components. And after you access those components, you're still going to need the seals for around the engine bay. The rear tin was missing on it. I didn't show it, but the rear suspension was rotted on one side. Let's go take a look, see if it's windy. Not windy long enough so you can hear me. The front frame frame head is totally gone in the thing. The pans are rotted. The rocker channels are rotted. And that is just stuff to make it sound. So it's because it's really not even safe to be driving now. And he only bought this last August. And I do not want to be responsible for a kid or anybody getting hurt for that matter. And I don't know what you can see. See this? This is supposed to be a whole cap with the 4 bolts that go around. There's nothing here. That's supposed to be a whole piece. There's nothing there. There's a rubber bushing there that's supposed to support this pivot axle right where it's supposed to be. And you can see that the rest of the car is just nothing but pop rivets and crap. So, and the running boards couldn't hold on to anything, so they got a couple zip screws in it. And then it's all just painted black with undercoating. That's all undercoating, just goo, kind of closing it together. Back bumper. Where is it? Here's the back bumper. And the fender moving. All right. So, it's a decent looking car. Let's see, look underneath it. All right, here we go. This is not meant to, this is my opinion in my opinion only. It's not the. A couple of people were talking about, well, you know, I have a Super Beetle, or, yeah, to me it's worth it for that, and that's perfectly fine. If you have something that is a family heirloom, you know, if it's a family heirloom, or you it's just something you like, doesn't even matter what the dollar amount of it is. It's something you like, and you want to put money into it, you want to educate yourself how to fix it, or it was a car you had when you were in high school and you're fixing it back up, more power to you. It has nothing to do with money all the time. But if it does have to do with money, you have to be smart on what you're fixing. Actually, how I want to word this. You can easily put $10,000 into a $5,000 car. You know, there's plenty of them out there, plenty of them for sale, plenty of them that you'll see that you'll look on Craigslist and there's a car, a bunch of parts bought for it, and it's taken apart. And why are they out there? It's because they're upside down on it. They finally realize how much work and labor it's going to take to glue that car back together and have something they can drive down the road. Whereas they're like, you know, all right, I want a, we use that for example. I want a 71 Beetle. I got this one for $500, $1,000, something like that. And it's got some rust and issues. I can just kind of go and put it together, and you know, then I'll have a car. And they're like, you know, another $1,000. I looked up all the pieces of the metal. They're $800 for the repair panels, and that's it. I can have it back together. Then you start getting into it, and you start buying all the stuff that you didn't think you were going to need, and all the time it takes. Like for me, I'm pretty fast at welding. If and I've been doing it a long time, but if you're not, and you're trying to, you know, learn how to weld and get something decent at the same time, it's going to take you forever. It takes 10 years for a project like that to turn around. So it's that $800 you put into the $1,000 you pay for the car, $800 in metal that you bought, the probably 600-800 hours you're going to go put in the car just to get it back together again. And now you haven't dealt with paint, you haven't dealt with interior, you haven't all the seals that you didn't think you were going to need. You start pricing all that stuff. It's all those little things that start adding up, and then you got another $2 or $3 grand in like little incidentals and brakes and brake lines and wheel cylinders and master cylinder and you know, chrome that's crappy to, yeah. Anyway, the list just kind of goes on and on. That's true with any car. That Super Beetle you can go buy right now. You could buy a nice Southern one for $5 grand, ready to go, not rusty, never was rusty, and without all the effort and everything that you put into it. So my opinion is you're better off to go spend your money on that $5,000 car instead of trying to fix up that $1,000 car. Having said that, if it's a car that has a lot of desirability and a lot of value to it, being like, say we'll take our Peaks one that he bought, the 67 convertible. 67 is a very sought after year. It's got a good following, very good value to it. They keep rising very fast, and it's a convertible, so it's, you know, double dip. That's a rusty car. I mean, he knows it. I know it. You guys saw it when we looked underneath it. It's a rusty car, but it had a good engine, good trans. It ran good, and it was kind of cheap money. So he's piecing that car back together the way that he knows how, and you know, it's like I guess it's a replacement for Cinderella. And it's something she wants. And at the end of the day, by the time he's all done, that car is still going to be worth more than what he has in it if he goes to go and sell it. It's still, like now, that's probably $6 grand, something like that, $6,500, being a 67 convertible. So that's a car that's worth doing. Again, my opinion. Krusty, you guys saw about how bad Krusty was. Krusty was a pile, you know. and I welded that thing all back together. You guys go back and look at those videos. That thing was nothing but a shell. It was just a skin on the outside of it. But to me, because of all the writing it and the uniqueness of the truck, and it had the original paint in it, it's kind of the stuff that I like. And I wanted to haul the bikes around in something. To me, it was worth doing all the work and all the labor on it. And I'm eating my own labor. It's not like the guy with the bug, he has to go pay me to go work on stuff. So again, just my perspective, but it's hard to. When I was young, you want to save everything. Every car you look at, everything, yeah, I could save that. I could save, sure, I could put anything. I could put that piece of crap together, that bay window camper, but it's just not worth the effort. Again, even better finding a clean one and putting it together. So you get used to. You get an education after doing a couple that are not successful to ones that you need to know. You get to learn to know where you are successful on, what you can make money on and what you can't. And that's what I'm talking about, making your money on something that you're going to go and repair and flip. Again, like the other bug that we looked at, the other Super Beetle, and she won $1,000 for it. And to me, it was worth $600. I was going to put $400 into it and try selling it for $2,500, $2,400. That was what was the outcome of that going to be. And so if I can make $1,000 on it, good. If $1,000, $1,500. Anything less than that, what am I going to do? A whole bunch of work and try to make $500? It's just not worth my time. Again, that's not pointing it towards anybody. I actually thought it was a good comment. The guys that made the comments on that, it's a good discussion for just old cars in general, So, and the other thing is that you don't have to restore them to sell them. I find a lot of times too that you just kind of clean them up and get them running, and then let the person take the ball after that. You just kind of get them. So again, like we use the '67 for example. That I just cleaned it up, got it running. I was going to go put it on Craigslist, and it would have sold fairly quickly. And of course, our Peak ended up buying it for his wife, or his wife bought it. Or, of course, sure how that works out. But anyway, enough of that rant. Let's go move on to something else. The house sold. The mother-in-law's house, that went yesterday. When went into a lawyer's office, and my wife signed about 40 or 50 different copies of things, and the guy who was buying it bought about 40 or 50 different things, and handed over some keys, and away it goes. It's no longer our responsibility. We never have to go drive 50 miles away each way again to check on a property. So that is one thing that is off of our shoulders, which is nice. And other than disconnecting all the utilities. And let's just say Boston Gas was a pain in the ass. Everybody else was fine to shut off except for Boston Gas. They were a bit of a noob. They did not want to shut it off, even though the property is sold, and they wanted a bunch of stuff. And so the mail shut off. I don't know how they expect to get paid, because there's no way for them to contact us anymore. We left no forwarding address for other reasons. But so we tried to go pay them, and they did not want to get paid. So be it. They're gonna have to go chase it, I guess. Go pound salt, as they say. And what else? I got little cheat sheets written down. The welcome cart. I got the welder set up. I did burn up about the 2-pound spool of wire that came with it on a job site. The thing, I used it wide open, and it did it quite well. I was doing 3/8 plate, and this is good for up to 3/8. I didn't turn the camera on, but it worked well. I used it for a day. Very nice, very smooth. I have no bad complaints about it whatsoever on that machine. Anyway, so I kind of moved some stuff around on my welding cart. It has a handle that goes up. It used to go up straight up here. I just cut it off the top right there and then re-welded it out forward. And then I rotated my welders sideways so that it's more skinny. Before, I used to have them go in the other direction, and the things used to stick out to the side, and you're trying to go. I'll show you my garage. My garage is pretty much set up so you can have 3 feet around the lift all the way around. But when the cart was sideways, it was kind of hard to work with. So I turned the both welders, the welder and the plasma cutter, facing forward, and then I stuck the my other welder down below the same direction, and that one's going to get set up with flux core. So this one will have flux core on it, and the top one will be on the bottle, which is on the back, and be a little bit easier to go in and out of the aisles. Spool gun showed up. I have not done anything with it yet, other than I put a spool of wire in it, but I've not hooked it up to the welder yet, just because I haven't had time. But I will. I promise. We'll do something with this guy. AMZ's Corner, when I was over there, and he had given me some another scrap bucket, and I showed it on the other video, pulleys and some other stuff. One of the things he also gave to me, or lent to me, was a small HD kind of camera that he used to use, and he upgraded to something else. And it's actually sitting in my truck right now. I went through my bills, and I was paying for internet and phone from Fairpoint, which is a phone company, and then my cable was Comcast or Xfinity. It was separate, so I kind of went and was getting tired of paying $200 for those two guys, and decided to combine them, and it ended up everything went on cable at the same time. And the internet speed that I have now was DSL, which was 3 meg. And my videos, if I wouldn't put a 10-minute video up, it would take 3.5 hours to upload. The cable setup is going to be 75 meg download, and then I think it's roughly a third of that upload, and all of them are set up that way. So it'll be 25 meg upload, so the speed of it should go much faster. And then I could upgrade to the HD. Even this camera that you're looking at here is on, I think it's medium setting. It's not on its fastest setting. I think it's on 720, I'm not sure. And I can bump those up, and the quality of the videos should be getting better. But until I get that, the thing's already here. I just got to go through the trouble of getting everything set up and turned on, and the phone swapped over and all that. That will make all that stuff much faster, and then hopefully the quality of my videos can be a little bit better. Biker dude. Joe sent me a carb. I'm trying to Huck. I think he has initials on the end of it. I apologize. Huck had sent me a carburetor from Canada. He's the guy that does chainsaws, like antique chainsaws, and he had recommended a carb setup when I was trying to go do this, and he sent me one. And then the float was no good. He sent me a float for that. And the guy was hooking me up. And the only problem was the needle and seat was not seating all the way, so that carb would overflow on this. And I had a little bit of trouble trying to chase down a carb kit, but lo and behold, eBay, I was able to chase one down. What did I do with those? They are under here. And eBay hooked me up, and I have a carb kit for that with a new needle and seat. So that should I say, be able to take care of the problems with that carburetor, and to get that motor running. And again, when I get time, I will go back on the bike. The bike and the bus, they're both fill-in kind of stuff. And right now it's springtime, so springtime I get kind of busy with working on some power equipment stuff, don't you know? And just everything else in life, right? Everything comes to life in the spring. You want to go to cruise nights, you want to get your own toys out and run, you got to clean your yard up, you want to go paint the house, you want to, you want to. So, which is kind of a good thing, gets you out of your winter slump. Well, guys, I think that was enough of a rant, I guess. But I call it a vlog. We're going to go call it a vlog. I was thinking about maybe doing one of these like once a week or so. And we'll see how that goes. If you guys feel you want to see that, or you just want to see more focusing on, take a piece of machinery and work on it, we could do that too. So, just leave your comments down below, and we'll kind of go from there. All right, guys, I'm shutting down. Thanks for watching.